Welcome to our Sunday webisode, and wait till I show you what Teresa and Lene have been doing. We are featuring the 49th and Market brand new paper packs. They're mini packs, and there is something very special. Okay, that's just to pique your interest. So I invite you to come play with us. And as we get started, I just want to say, scrapbookers, you're going to see some beautiful scrapbook pages, so you want to stay tuned. Now, I showed you the papers, and I'll show you each of them. There are two collections, and these are the embellishments that go with them, Ethereal and Serendipitous. Now, I'm going to start with Ethereal. So Serendipitous is going to go over here, and let me show you what's going on. These are called layered embellishments, and wow, they are on plastic. They are layered. They are foam taped, or they are just placed on the backing sheet. Let me show them to you on black. Wow. This way you can really see the colors. You can see that glitter. How pretty is that? And they're just stunning. I have to say, I've never seen anything like this, so that's always fun. And the colors are beautiful with the ethereal papers, as you would imagine. And I don't know if I said there are 61 pieces here, so that's really nice. There are 15 epoxy coated studs, so those are those pieces, 15 epoxy coated stones, 15 glitter acetate pieces, so as you can see, and 16 dimensional layered pieces. So that's all your 61. Now for the papers, this is a mini collection, and it's mini because there's only 4 sheets now, but the 4 sheets pack a lot of wallop. So let me show them to you. As you can see, Ethereal is a wonderful name, both for the title of this paper collection, but also for the look. Very much 49th and Market's look. They are double-sided. They are cardstock, so you can hear that. And they also have at the bottom on one side a border that you can trim off. So that's a nice bonus. Here is a second sheet. And I'm going to flip it over, really pretty. Very soft colors in this collection. There's a border there. And this one, now what I really love, okay, is this. This is a sheet of laser cut art. So these are just going to pop right out. They are finely detailed. They are also on a cardstock, and there are 47 designs here. So just beautiful. So this paper collection, along with the embellishments, just gives you some wonderfulness to play with. And let me show you what has been done by Lene and Teresa. So here is the scrapbook page. And Lene did this, so you can see that one sheet that had the little flowers down here. She did matte her photo. Now this is a 5x7 photo. She matted it on black and then on the peach, and then put that gingham behind it and kind of tipped the photograph and then tipped that background rectangle also. She did add, this is the laser. And you can see as I wiggle this, you'll be able to see those layered embellishments because they are plastic, so they're going to kind of glow for you. And you see how that glitter is right behind it. Those are the epoxy covered stones. And you can see down here, and this beautiful laser art just swoops around and kind of hugs that photograph. Some butterflies have been attached there and one at the top. And Teresa added a bow, and this is from the light pink ribbon collection. So like I said, I think it's just gorgeous. Now Lene did this, and she said it really doesn't take very long at all. And that's nice. You're really letting everything focus and get close to that center photograph and really overlap it where the photograph isn't taking up any of the space. So just gorgeous. Now, card makers, what can you do? Well, to begin with, you know that every single sheet is going to be able to make 4 cards. So even though there's just 4 sheets, that should get you 16 cards. So let me show you some things that Teresa has done. And I'll bring over the first one. And here we go. This is a S card. And so she just placed her blank card down flat and scored halfway in the center of the front and then folded it on top. Now, Teresa has added, again, this is the papers, and the papers have all of this artwork on them, so it just works so well for cards because you can really focus on those. And you can see that she's cut 1, 2, 3 panels, and those measurements are in the instructions. Now, she's also added some other things. Now, in addition to the laser cut pieces, one thing I want to show you, and I'll show it to you at an angle, is that on that laser art, there's the full blossom, and then there's some smaller blossoms so that you can layer just right on top of the matching art. So butterfly there, you can see the flowers down here with some of those sprigs underneath, and that little heart up there, and another sprig. Now, Teresa has added the 4-inch doily, so you can see there's one there, half of one there, and then the other half or other 2/3 on the front. So that just really works well with the artwork. And you see all of this on the corner here, this stitching and this, that's all part of the artwork. Now, she took another step and added our lacy doily, lace and doilies dazzles. Now, she used the silver pearl with silver foiling to add not only her message and her greeting, but also just some little bit of flourishes and pieces of the border just to further accent this absolutely stunning card. And so that's really nice to see and beautiful to have. Now, another card is where she used a triple step, our die cut cards. So here is the triple step. Now, in that card pack, you're going to get patterns to cut your paper, so no measuring. Teresa used the patterns, and they allow the card to be kind of a mat around that paper, and you can see how beautiful this is. Now, Teresa used one of those borders that she cut off the bottom of the paper to add a border here, and she did add the laser in the back, but she also added, these are the white cotton flowers that 49th and Market creates, and she simply took the Bordeaux ink pad, and this is by Crafter's Companion, and she pulled that and used a blending tool to just go into it and to take some of the flowers and just ink the edges a little bit, so that she had white flowers that now have a hint of that Bordeaux color that really plays nicely with the papers in this collection. And you can see how that gingham, again, plays well with the other patterns. So they're kind of very subtle, but they just pack such a wallop, especially with those lasers. Now, this is the Tiny Words and Phrases dazzles that's been added there. On the inside, and Teresa did finish the inside, just a little piece of the paper, again, another of the border, the Tiny Words and Phrases dazzles, but look what she's done with that laser. Just beautiful how that frames the Get Better Quick and the butterfly on the inside. So sometimes when you have a die cut card like this, you think, okay, well that's plenty. I'll just put my message on the inside, and there certainly is some room right there, but how nice to see that. So just lovely. Let me get my Bordeaux covered up. And let me show you one more card. And Teresa has done something tricky with this also. And isn't that pretty? Now, I think it's lovely. You can see that beautiful kind of oval in the center. And Teresa gives you in the instructions this pattern to make that oval. And what you'll do is print that out, cut out the oval that's in the center, and you'll have a piece like this. Obviously, this is the one that Teresa used. And so we're going to tape that to the piece of cardstock, like so. And I'm going to put this on my craft sheet. and just walk you through what Teresa has done. Now, she used 2 inks, and they are the, just a second, they are the wine color, so right there, and a teal, or lagoon, there we go, a lagoon, so it is a teal color. And these are both out of the Harmony water reactive dye. So these are going to be like the distress inks, in that they're going to operate with water. Oh, one thing I wanted to share with you, what the design team does is they put one of the pads and they Velcro it to the back of the ink pad. That way you can still stack your ink pads, but it will stay there and you don't have to keep reusing new ones every time. And I thought that was a clever idea to share. So what Teresa has done is, as you can see, she's blending the colors from the outside and filling in this, this oval. And it makes it really easy and really fast to do it this way, as you probably know. And I do have a spritzer on hand, so I'll set that aside and change this for the next one that has been used before. And this is going into the lagoon, which is a teal color, blue-green. And I'm not too worried about doing too much in the blending because, let's see, let me go back to the purple for a moment and just bring that in there a little bit more. Bring that into the green a bit, but you can see I'm keeping my colors clean. Now, bringing the spritzer in, this is going to give us that those water drops. So I'm going to keep it up high and do some spritzing. And as you probably know, this will lift up some color where I have spritzed. And it makes, in fact, you can see that. I think you can see that happening now. There we go. Thank you, Houston. Getting right in close there. Now you can tap it off if you want to, or you can just let it dry. I think I'll tap it off just so that I can remove the mask, that stencil, and show you the piece that we have underneath. A very simple process, but what a great look. And there we have it already. Now I would let that dry before I move it back into my card. Speaking of which, here is Teresa's card. How pretty is that? I guess I did it that way. Okay. So you can play with that however you want, but more importantly, what's happening here is she has placed this onto her card and or onto her paper and onto her blank card. She's wrapped a white ribbon from the White Ribbons collection. And what Teresa does is to wrap it here and then glue the ends behind this piece before she glues it to her card front. And that way there's no ends that are going to fray. So I think this just really looks like a pond where the dragonfly is skimmering down. And these are the the cottonseed flowers, again, from 49th and Market. Teresa also added some sparklets. Now, this is Sailor Sky, and you can see it's got those lavender and teal colors in it. These are in short supply, so I just wanted to warn you, if you're interested, you might want to grab them now. But isn't that pretty how she's got the laser pieces just overflowing? So this is Ethereal. Now, let me take you into Serendipitous. Now we're going to look at Serendipitous, and this is what you can do. Isn't this beautiful? Okay, let me show you all the pieces that go into it. Everything, again, is from 49th and Market. Now, Serendipitous is a new mini collection, paper collection, just like Ethereal. It has 4 sheets, and it's got a ton, as a matter of fact, 48 laser pieces. So let me show you the papers, and they are double-sided. This is the art that's on the back of the front sheet. So these get cut out. So you've got frames and lots of frames. You've got some dragonflies. And here is one of the sheets. And again, just like the first one, you have this border that you can use. And again, I think Serendipitous and Ethereal are just perfect names for these. You've got some words down at the bottom this time. Isn't that pretty with the flowers? And a stripe. Now, this looked really harsh to me when I first saw it, but wait till you see it used. Well, actually, you did just see it used, but let me point that out. Here is the last one, so pretty with that wood. And then again, you have the border. Here are the laser pieces, just beautiful. And they pop out just effortlessly. And I'll show you how you can use those. Now, the other piece that is new is the layered embellishments. Now, these are the plastic ones. There are 61. Just like the first set, I'm going to pop this against black so you can really see, and just point out that there are 61, as I said. There are the epoxy-coated studs, there's the epoxy-coated stones, there's the glitter acetate, and you just lift them up, and then there's dimensionally layered pieces too. So these were all the papers, the laser, and the embellishments were all used in creating this page. So one single sheet of paper, did some matting. Now you could use the dark sheet that's in here, or you could use black cardstock. There is the that stripe. Lene tore the bottom edge and added that. This is a 4x6 photograph. And then look what she's done. She's really heavily used the layered embellishment. So you can see this large clock piece, and then she's added some of the laser underneath it. So let me show you. Here is that clock piece, okay, right here. You can see where she's got it right here, but she's added some of the laser pieces, just kind of tucked them in. She's also tucked in some of the glitter and added some of those stones all around it. Same thing over here. This is actually the laser. Now there is the plastic, the layered embellishment that's similar to it, of course, but it's right there in the laser. And she has had the leaves that are on the layered sheet. She's added here. So she's combined them, which is just nice because it's going to go further. She added some of the jute, which we have that jute pack, and then used the tag that is in the laser piece and did some journaling on it just to get the date in there. So just beautiful. And I like to point out too that this is mom and her 2 sons, how well this works for masculine, and that's really, really nice to have, and something that you wouldn't think of with a title like Serendipitous, but there we go. Now, what did our brilliant Teresa do with card making, you might ask? Well, let me show you. Let's see, this is our first card. And isn't that pretty? We'll get in nice and close. Thank you, Houston. So again, there is that stripe. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but I just thought it was so wrong, and it's nice to see how beautifully it's used. Now, this is one paper that's in the back, so that's part of the print, as is this. This is the laser. And look what Teresa's done. She has foam taped several of those flowers together and put them at the base of where her 2 branches are intersecting, and just lovely. She's also added this other laser piece that comes on the sheet, and it's right here. And so that's become a focal point also. And you'll notice that there's no words on the front of this card. How interesting is that? Oh, let me just tell you, here on the sheet it really directs you to do a little bit of layering, both with the butterfly and with the flowers. So that's nice to have. Beautiful to see Teresa's execution. Now, Teresa used the white ribbons, and I thought it was really fun that she put this dot on top of that stripe. And I think that's just a really nice look. As always, you know that she glues her ribbon ends behind the paper before she attaches it. On the inside, this is where she has used some of those cutouts from the back of the sheet. And so she's just layered them. She's got the key, that's one of the laser pieces. And she's added the 500 greeting dazzles right there. So you can see how just beautiful this is. Just gorgeous. Well, of course, that's what we expect from our Teresa, don't we? Now, let me take you to another card. And this one is using the bluebell flowers. These are also 49th and Market. Now, in this particular case, Teresa really kept her card pretty plain. So she's used one, just a part of one of the pieces. And then again, that stripe. So funny that keeps coming back to nicely haunt me. And she's added, these are the laser, but she's added the bluebell flowers on top. Very nice. I think something I'm seeing is that a really lovely use of those butterflies just within a piece. Teresa did that in the first set and now in this one. Again, these are the tiny words and phrases dazzles, and look how pretty with the black border dazzles, how stunning that looks right off the toward the fold. On the inside, she has layered these again. We saw Heidi do that a couple months ago. And then again, this is one of the pieces. So with cutting them in these smaller pieces, I think you're going to get more than 4 cards out of every single one. You're the best is her message on her card. Just really, really pretty. Now, Teresa's done something unusual with this card, and let me bring it in. Here we go. And you can see she wanted to take this a little more masculine, and I think that's really, really nice to do. You might remember this is the back side of one of the pieces, but you know, I don't remember seeing this. Well, you're not imagining anything. You didn't see it. Teresa created that, and let me show you. Let me see. I'll bring in a piece of cardstock. Before I get to that, I just wanted to show you one thing. When Teresa created this, she did not have access to the layered pieces. And so when this came, I thought it was just perfect for a masculine card. I love the addition of the 500 script greetings dazzles, and how I'll show you how she created this. But I also thought, now these are in laser, but they're also in those layered embellishments. So what if you added this on top? I kind of like it. And I just wanted to share that with you because it's just a little bit. And if you wanted to go back and, maybe add any of those epoxy pieces, those could be fun too. Teresa added the dazzles, and that works nicely too. On the inside of her card, there is another piece of what I'm going to show you, and the big greeting, happy birthday, and again, more of the laser pieces. So it's nice to see, as I said, the masculine. Now let me bring my craft sheet back and show you what Teresa shared with me. Now I'll take a piece of cardstock and I'm going to tape it down just so it doesn't escape. And Teresa used 2 of the water reactive ink pads from Crafter's Companion. This is Pine Tree and Lagoon. Now, with the Pine Tree, she took, let's see, let me scoot this over. Sorry, little adjustment here. And tapped it onto the craft sheet, like so. I like the shape of these. I like that oval. It's very comfortable to hold. And spritz this. And then she took something different. She took a gift card and she kind of laid her gift card in it, and then she went from the outside of the cardstock toward the center. I think I got a little water on that. And that way. So it just kind of blends it into the center. Now again, you can see that my card is pretty flat as I'm bringing it in, and it is going toward the center. Okay, now again, you can't control this perfectly, so don't try. Just enjoy it, okay? So there we go. Now I'm going to take the lagoon and do the same thing, a little bit on the craft sheet. I'm going to spritz it, protect my card. I'll dry this off. Now I'm just going to take it straight up and down, and I'm going to go vertically with it. So we went from the sides, now I'm going to go vertically. And horizontally. So I'm getting these lines. And again, you're not going to be able to control it terribly well. Although you can decide if you just want to go in from one side. Let me bring Teresa's card. I took this piece off just so you can see. Now her lines are thinner and don't necessarily go all the way across. So that's just good to know. But I think it's fun that you can play with this in such a way. I never thought about keeping gift cards like that. So we'll scoot this aside. And I think I'm going to pop this back on top. I like overlapping them. I think that just, and you can make it go taller, whatever you like. So I think you can see how amazing we think that both Serendipitous and Ethereal are. They allow you so many creative possibilities, and that's what's always fun. And I have to tell you, I think these new layered embellishments are doggone brilliant. Janine Meyerowitz, who owns the company and does much of the designing, is just brilliant. And we're happy to have her product here. And Teresa and Lene, as always, fabulous projects. Now, to see the products that we use, look down there, you'll see them. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you really want to go over to paperwishes.com because we're putting together 2 money savers. So if you're interested in saving a little money, that will be worth the clicking through. And thank you so much for joining us and for being part of the Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next week.